Today, we're going to be reviewing DemoReels and the odd photo. Look at that, what pros. Absolute pros. Don't you agree?
I am absolutely amazed at what you do with all these buttons and all these cables and all these things we have on the table.
My favorite one is this.
5 minutes later.
That's absolutely my favorite thing to be doing. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in, right? And I see Alba's sending us more files. There we go. Right, good. So we're going to go straight into it. Let me just explain to you our philosophy when it comes to looking at self-tapes and certainly looking at demo reels or video books, as they happen to be known in Spain, where we've done majority of our live streams. The first thing that we have to ask ourselves when we see something is we go, does it work? Okay, that's the most important thing. Forget about good, forget about bad. We have to find out whether it works, because we can hate something, but we can agree it works.
Yes, sometimes the tastes are, I like it white, you like it red. How are we going to measure that? But if that says to you something, if that really, touched something, if this impact was recognizable, then it means that it works.
Great. I see that Linda, Sorrel Fleet, and Olivia are there.
Thank you very much for being there.
Word to the wise, always make sure you got the name of the actress in the name of the tape.
Yes, that is very useful.
Okay, because I went to it and I went, she doesn't look like a Joseph. just a thing for the future, and never worry about putting too much information in the name of the file because they get lost.
So everyone that is Instagram, again, I'm going to say it the last time, if you can migrate into facebook.com/Assumpta Serna or youtube.com/Escuela Assumpta Serna, we would be very thankful. Why? Instagram doesn't let us to do 2 cameras, and today we have video books and things to see, and you also...
DemoReels.
DemoReels, sorry.
DemoReels.
And then you would never see Scott here because, that is only vertical.
Which would be an enormous tragedy.
Yes,
okay,
tragedy.
Let's get this road on the show.
Good.
Okay, so these are the most important things. Does it work? And the next question is, does it do damage? Okay, our philosophy as teachers, coaches, and all the rest of it, and all the actors that we work with, that we are very happy because we've actually got a lot of them jobs recently.
Yes, 15 of us. I mean, we are 100 and something.
115. So 10. We managed to get 10% of our community through Patreon jobs in a movie which is going to be shooting in May. A proper film where they'll get paid.
Yes.
They got jobs.
Social security and everything.
They got paid. Anyway, so the most important thing is, does it work? And the next thing is, does it do any harm? Because we have personally seen demo reels that nobody should ever watch.
Yes.
That should never be shown to anybody. Now, the most important thing about that, let me just butt in there. Very particularly because we work in Spain a lot and people do things in English. One of the things that we find is that somebody will do a scene or a monologue or something like that, and they will do it in English, and the English is... It's not that the accent's bad, it's just you can't understand it. Okay? That's a very important thing, is that we have to be able to understand it. To anybody who's out there for whom English is not their first language, accent doesn't matter. The most important thing is to be able to understand it.
Yes.
Okay?
The other thing that we have to also understand ourselves when we are watching something is that sometimes what we are watching, when we are watching, we are seeing things that the others don't see. So, we have to identify really what is the difference, what the people see and what we see about ourselves. And sometimes it's such a different perception. So what we have to understand is that, by watching what you do, you really have to be nice to yourself, meaning, it's not a negative thing, but it's a curious thing to see when something doesn't work. And when it does work, it's nice to feel good, because what is essentially a video book is, a demo reel, is something that you do which is communicate to the others how good you are or how proud you are on whatever you did. So one of the things that also is interesting is not to put there everything that you did, but just the things that you are really proud and you want to say to the others, really, look at that. That's nice.
And
if you don't have that,
Sí,
sometimes, in the professional world, well, we don't have never this role to say, oh, that was, wonderful, and I could do this and that in that role, because, there are small roles, or roles that they only have one single, let's say, register. So what we do then, well, we do it ourselves. More and more people are used to see self-tapes. Now almost all jobs are done that way. So let's shoot, let's shoot well with the things that we do and that we do well, which is acting, but also, how we have to understand that there is a lot of things that we have to do, lights and technique and sound, that is going to be also very, very good for us to understand it.
The other thing which is very important to remember in terms of what you're going to put in your demo is your capacity, your ability to play as close to who you are as possible is the most important thing you can learn how to play. Okay? Particularly after, now that we've all spent a year locked up inside and we've all come to understand who we are via this camera, via this screen that we have in front of us, that we're now used to this brand new language of what it means to be real on camera. So this is something else that really I've noticed when I've been coaching people, is that we really have to up our game and improve ourselves when it comes to trying to hide the acting and be as effective as possible. The other thing that's very important that I always tell people, and they don't believe me, that I start out from the position of all actors are geniuses, because they know how to be perfectly realistic and natural the rest of the time. They just lose their minds between action and cut.
Yes.
My point is that how can we take that realism? It's like a comb over. When you see the bald guy and he combs the hair over the top of his head. It's to take the truth before action and just comb it over the take. That's the kind of my kind of view of it.
And also, when there's a very interesting thing also to know is to know yourself, which is going to be difficult in the sense that what you have to do is to identify your resistances. For instance, I have a lot of resistance about a lot of things. Why? Because, I want to be better. I want to make it good. I want to, get that job. And all this, it really puts me in a place where I'm not free. And when we shoot something, we have to be free. So the idea is that also the people don't want to be our trouble, our problems, but the easiness of communicating. So what we have to understand really well is identify our resistances and really know how to get rid of them
and overcome them.
Yes, overcome them.
Okay, so finally, to all the people here, Monica, Mirko, thanks for being here. Grazie. Paulina, Pedro, Estela, Linda, and Olivia. It's great to see you. Now, if you have any comments, you want to communicate with us, feel free to write. If this is your first time here, say hello, where we like to be completely transparent and open about what we do, who we are, and all of these things that we hope for all you guys out there. Alba Gracie, my new favorite actress is Alba. I really like Alba. I was very, very strong. Very, very strong. Okay, so now first one we're going to go into Pedro, who was the last one we didn't get to last week. Okay,
let's go.
So here we go.
Mark, why are you doing all of this?
Because this is what you want, Jason. You couldn't even talk to my face. I had to hear it on the radio. Nobody special?
Said no special girl.
Yeah, how do you think that was gonna make me feel, huh? Listening to you say that in front of the whole world. Well, now you have a special girl in your life. A daughter. It's better to end this now before I have to work out on you and the kid.
The kid can't be mine. I slept with the girl once.
But once is all it takes.
Prince, you know that I love
you.
No,
don't call me that. You don't love me. I love you. But you're in love with your music career. You have no room for anyone else. ¿Quieres inspirarte de aquí?
Escucha, tío. Van a por ti.
¿Quién?
El Cadenas.
¿Y por qué me lo dices? ¿Quién te manda?
Es que me caes bien.
Que te caigo bien. Eso sí que es muy bueno. Dime quién te manda. Dime quién te manda o te juro que te estrangulo.
El Greñas.
¿Por qué?
Quieren averiguar cosas.
Pues bien, le vas a decir al Greñas que la próxima vez que venga él directamente. Te di 2 días de plazo para atraparlo. Mientras tanto sigue riéndose de nosotros. Y vete a saber lo que estará planeando.
¿Qué quieres decir?
Pues que necesito a un inspector más cualificado para llevar este asunto. Creo que esto te queda grande. Confié en ti, pero aún estás un poco verde.
Vale, está bien. Pero he descubierto que ese hombre tenía un amante. Y es eso lo que me trajo hasta aquí. Se esconde por esta zona y lo estamos cercando. Solo dame 24 horas y te demostraré que soy capaz de meter en la cárcel a ese narcotraficante.
24 horas, ya lo sabes.
Día de acá.
¿Cuándo piensas irte?
¿Por qué te empeñas en que me vaya?
Para que no vayas a la cárcel, Paloma. Llegará un momento en que ni yo mismo podré evitarlo.
¿Desde cuándo te ha importado mi destino?
Mucho, Paloma. No quiero nada malo para ti, te lo juro. Porque yo...
¿Porque yo qué, Bruno? ¿Qué?
Muy bien. Very nice, Pedro.
Okay, Pedro says, I'm so nervous to hear the review.
And don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right, Pedro. It's,
Remember, the second thing we're worried about is that, not harming you, right? So,
yeah.
No.
Okay, so Pedro, you're from, as far as I can remember, you're from Ghana and you live in Barcelona. First thing I would say to you is you got some English in your reel and you got some Spanish in your reel. You have the English subtitled in Spanish. Think about subtitling the Spanish into English, and then you can use it in both places.
Yes.
Okay,
That's a nice tip.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Subtitling, if you had to do this, it's fairly traumatic having the subtitle. I absolutely hate it. I've done it way too much in my life, but it can be very, very useful. Okay, so we're gonna watch it. Now we're gonna go through it,
And we're gonna stop and talk about it.
yeah. But don't be nervous. Listen, the other thing that we have to take into consideration whenever we're looking at somebody's material, whether because some people haven't done anything. Some people have self-tapes. I know people who got agents through self-tapes or things that they've done in classes. There's absolutely no shame. Everybody has to begin somewhere, okay? It's very, very important. All that anybody's interested in looking at is, does this guy fit that hole that I have in my imagination? Can he do that sort of thing?
Yes. And to do that, to really show them that you can do it, there is certain things that we have to provide them to them, which is really we have to understand how to listen and how to make a scene believable. What does it mean, believable? Means that when we are watching, we don't see an actor, we see a person that needs something, that reacts to something, to someone, that talks because it needs to talk. And that is something that, we forget when we are all the time also looking for the lines and the accents and whatever. So what is nice about the acting is when you don't remember what you do it, is exactly when you think that you got it. Anyway,
let's do this. And finally, I want to say hi to Ross, who's my brother.
Oh yeah, it's there.
And the Cleverdon family is out there in Ireland. Sorry I didn't say hello before, but it's good to see you, buddy. And I like your photos. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so starting over again.
Okay, so you're with La Claqueta. Good. You're in Spain. Yes, nice picture.
Mark, why are you doing all of this?
Okay, let's just start again.
Mark, why are you doing all of this?
I'd like more time on your name.
Mark.
No.
You got 2... Now, this is going to sound really pedantic. You got 2 seconds on your name. Give it 4. I know that sounds stupid, but it's very, very specific. Give me 4 seconds. I want to see you. I want to go, okay, that's him. What's he called? He's called Pedro. Okay, I need 4 seconds for that. That's my advice if you're doing self-tapes, if you have to put titles on it. 3's too short, 5's way too long. Four's the sweet spot. Okay, that's what
Nice.
I learned from editing hundreds of self-tapes for people. This is the way it works, because you don't want to overstay your welcome, but you do want people to remember who you are. Okay, so let's go back to the start, and you'll see it. Watch, and go. One, two,
Mark, why are you doing all of this?
go. Right?
Because this is what you want, Jason. You couldn't even talk to my face. I had to hear it on the radio.
Okay. When there is something that happens with actors that doesn't happen with real people. and that is also to understand why. It's not that we are not real, it's that just because when we are in action,
I'm a real person, damn it.
it just, we forget about things. And we are thinking about all other things that when you are speaking normally. So those things show in some signs. One of these signs is when you just breathe. When you have a really attention, all the tension that you have is up there. Is if you do, then everything is down. Because when you want something, you are in this state where you are with your breathing is not down. It's just is there because you want something. You need something. You are there.
You see, this is one of our great revelations lately. Is that as actors, what we do is we learn how to breathe, and we breathe, and we breathe, and we have this great capacity and this amazing ability to project. But really in life, what we're doing is we're almost constantly using this upper part of our lungs because it's the thing which is going to be connected to the thing, what we're about to say. That things are loaded, ready to be said, and we're ready to speak.
So if you see here, you just do this thing that a lot of actors do, which is when they are intentional, when they need something, they kind of do a Hollywood half. Here's a little bit disguised, but Hollywood half is when you release your tension because you don't believe yourself into the actual, objective that you have in the scene. So
Hollywood huff, right? Hollywood huff. Where did that come from? Okay, it comes from David Mamet's book, True and False, which I recommend to everybody. The Hollywood huff is when somebody goes, "Listen, man, I can't tell you right now." So what they do is they break the tension of, "Listen, man, I can't tell you right now," with a little huff in the middle, because otherwise it's getting too real. Okay? So when you feel that, just lean into it a little bit more. That's the idea. Lean into it a little bit more.
So see yourself how you breathe there.
Because this is what you want, Jason. You
there.
couldn't even talk to my face. I had to hear it on the radio. Nobody special?
Said no special girl.
Yeah, how do you think that was gonna make me feel, huh? Listening to you say that in front of the whole world. Well, now you have a special...
Okay, this is a technical thing for me. As an editor, your next line, I would have brought that in 20 frames earlier.
Which one?
I'll show you. Because what it does is he would have snapped into it. It would have just stopped the dead space. You'll hear it. Watch.
Said no special girl.
Yeah, how do you think that was...
No special girl. Yeah, I would have gone straight in there, one on top of the other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But that's just a very pedantic thing for me because I got really bad news for all the actors out there. You can take a performance and make it better. You can also make it worse. You can destroy a performance with bad editing. And you can also tighten it up. And when you come to be actually working professionally, you won't have to be line, because that space will be reduced and removed in the editing. Because remember, it's easy to take space away, but it's very hard to add it. Okay? Just word to the wise. Whenever you're having to edit yourself, remember you can do that. You can make everything a little bit zippier. Right, let's keep going.
Make me feel, huh? Listening to you say that in front of the whole world. Well, now you have a special girl in your life. A daughter.
You see, in this bit, because you have clear what is your objective, you maintain normally, like a normal person does, up there. You don't, because you are in what you want to say, But in the other, instead, at the beginning of the scene, you didn't choose exactly what you want to say, not what you are saying in the words, but what you want to say. So you are thinking, you're you don't know how to say it. You are, how are you there is what is not chosen. When we don't choose something, then these things start to appear. Okay, so we have to be really full of things that we want to say in each phrase. What is our objective of this phrase? And just, go for it with total, it's not compromiso, is?
Commitment.
Commitment.
It's better to end this now before I have to work out on you and the kid.
The kid can't be mine. I slept with the girl once.
But once is all it takes.
Prince, you know that I love
No,
you.
don't call me that. You don't love me.
Nice.
Great.
I love you.
Nice.
But you're in love with your music career. You have no room for anyone else.
I like the branch.
Yeah, I like the branch. And what do you do with the branch?
Branch is my favorite bit. No, the branch is great. No, the branch is great because you treat everything like you're in the correct state. And that works well.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, the scene works like you kick the other guy's ass. I'm just going to tell you that.
Yes.
Because, as we say in Spanish, you le comes con patatas, right? So you do really well there. Okay, moving along. We keep going?
Yes.
Right, okay, so I think we move into Spanish now.
¿Quieres inspirarte de aquí?
Right, first question is, why is the guy wearing pajamas? Why is the guy wearing a pajama top? Anyway, it's like somebody said, you can't wear that shirt. Here, put this on. But these are, just put it on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Escucha, tío. Van a por ti.
¿Quién?
El Cadenas.
¿Y por qué me lo dices? ¿Quién te manda?
All right, for the people who don't speak Spanish, he's saying you got to watch out. Somebody's coming after you. Some guy called Cadenas, right? Which means chains. So we imagine he's a tough guy. All right, so the other guy's warning. The guy in the pajamas is warning our friend Pedro.
Es que me caes bien.
Que te caigo bien. Eso sí que es muy bueno. Dime quién te manda.
So he asks him who sent him.
Dime quién te manda o te juro que te estrangulo.
He says,
Sí.
tell me who sent you or I'll strangle you.
You see, this dime quien te manda, you could do a little bit more there, because you are what we call mirada fija, which means you're locked into the eyes of your partner, and you have a life of yourself. You have to think about things. You have to disguise the uncertainty that we do when we are talking. When we are talking, we never know what we're going to say. So everything is influenced by this need of constantly searching for the words. So when you have a phrase that is it repeats itself, you have to. It's a kind of a red flag to actually put something different there. Because you could actually look near to the camera, be accomplice with us, and then say the phrase to him again, or at the contrary. You have always to understand that every single bit is what the people are investigating.
And the other thing is, you're in the street. When you're in the street, there's always stuff going on. If you are in the street, you're not on the grounds of a mental hospital because he's wearing pajamas. But anyway, you're on the street, so there's always stuff going on. There's always things to look at. There's always what do you mean? Mm-hmm. So
that adds a lot of truth.
See, one of the things that we always tell actors, there's a whole list of things that actors think that are important, and one of the things that actors are obsessed with, which is really unimportant, is concentration. Mm-hmm. Trust you me, if it's important, you'll be concentrated. But in real life, we are continually distracted.
And is what I called sell the context or sell the space. You have to really acknowledge that there is other things there. I mean, you are really worried about that. You're really, but there is things that happen there that that you can feel if you are a real person or you're an actor acting, because these things happen to real people. Real people are are looking for things. Real people are seeing things.
Yeah, let's keep going.
El Greñas.
¿Por qué?
Why?
Quieren averiguar cosas.
Pues bien, le vas a decir al Greñas que la próxima vez que venga él directamente.
Okay, so the problem here is this noise with
Was
leaves.
these papers or leaves or something at your
also
feet?
in the feet, and we don't see the leaves, so we don't know. We say, what's strange there? What is this noise about? So that distances a little bit of what's going on in the scene. So, unfortunately, you have to do something, and if you cannot,
It's a good point as an actor, because we sometimes think that everybody's going to take care of everything for us. But if you see something down there that's going to make a lot of noise, kick it out of the way, move it out of the way before the scene, shift it. It doesn't matter what it is. There's things that make sound which is almost intolerable. One is the close-up sound of paper or papers crinkling. The other thing which is really hard to overcome is the sound of water. And don't get me started on wool and silk.
yes.
Did you know that?
Yes. Wool and silk, yes.
Yeah, one of the first jobs I ever did, the guy asked me, he said, "That's not silk, is it?" And I said, "I don't think so." He said, "Wool and silk." And I was like, yeah, sure. And he was like, "No, seriously, wool and silk for the microphone is absolutely the worst sound you could possibly make. It's horrible." So, as I like to say,
The more you know.
the more you know. Okay,
So here you see that you are a little bit locked into the other character. Your character has a life. There is things that he sees, there's things that he listens, there is things that, that he's looking for things. If you are all the time there, it loses authenticity. And so there starts being, for you, starts also being weird. And then is when this hand goes and then you don't know what to do with the hand, And we can feel that because
you haven't decided what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because, listen, at any given time, we're talking to one of three people. We're talking to the other person or a group of people. We're talking to ourselves, or we're talking to the universe, okay, or God, or whatever you want to call it. But we're talking to something which is external that we don't expect an answer from. And there's a thing that you go, well, why are you telling me that? You got to tell me that. Why are you doing this to me? There's this direction of what we want at any given point. You can think of them like arrows. Is that we fire arrows of intention from one place or another, and sometimes we fire them towards ourselves. And sometimes it's just in general. Well, rhetorical questions are like that. But why did this happen? Okay, there's no answer to the question from them. You will supply it. Okay?
Yeah.
But it's the reason that you feel, what do I do with my hands, is because you haven't committed to what you're trying to do. Convince him, intimidate him, threaten him, evade him, confess to him. You have to choose what you're doing, because then you won't be worried about what do I do with this now? This, it's a tricky thing. All right, let's keep going.
Uncertainty is a good one, remember.
I'm not sure about that though. Okay.
Que te caigo bien. Eso sí que es muy bueno. Dime quién te manda. Dime quién te manda o te juro que te estrangulo.
El Greñas.
¿Por qué?
Quieren averiguar cosas.
Pues bien, le vas a decir al Greñas que la próxima vez que venga él directamente.
I don't believe you there.
No, I don't believe you, because
I
you're
don't
worried
believe
about
you.
you're worried about the noise.
I don't know if it's the noise. I don't know if it's some things that, I don't believe you there. I don't think it gives you... I mean, perhaps you can do the little phrase at the beginning, but not after.
Pedro, the other thing I want to say to you, and this goes for everybody.
Let me see.
Where?
Let me see, because I want to tell him exactly, because you can do it at the beginning. No, after. Yes, it is. Okay, here.
Okay.
Let's start here and see when we stop.
¿Quieres pirarte de aquí?
Escucha, tío. Van a por ti.
¿Quién?
El Cadenas.
¿Y por qué me lo dices? ¿Quién te manda?
Es que me caes bien.
Que te caigo bien. Eso sí que es muy bueno. Dime quién te manda. Dime quién te manda o te juro que te estrangulo.
El Greñas.
¿Por qué?
I wouldn't put it.
No?
No.
You're not into it? Okay. Assumpta's not into it. Doesn't work for you?
No. I think it damages you because, you're better than that.
No, it's because in the first one it's very nice, and I understand what's going on. You have a personal connection to what you're talking about, and here you're kind of being a tough guy, which you're a little bit You're a little bit scared of being a tough guy.
Yeah.
I get that. Look, this is a thing. This is the thing that you're from Ghana. People have a certain reaction in one way or another. You live in Barcelona. This is another thing. You're trying to make your way in the world. One of the great things about acting is you get the opportunity to be a real bad guy or a tough guy. Okay, the tough guy that you are not, but you've seen plenty of other people being. Okay, it's going to be asked a lot of you. You know, you better learn how to do it. And I've got all confidence that you can do it straight up. It's one of those things that we have to learn how to do. All right, but you're not into this, are you, Assumpta?
No. Let's see that. The problem here is the text. I see that the text
is not good.
Is not good, and then it doesn't make you So when you choose a text, well, the problem is that you didn't choose it, is it? It was a school or something.
Somebody else
gave
chose
it to
it.
you. Someone else chose it.
Yeah, tell us where you did this. Explain to us.
Because for me, it's
el contexto de eso. Where are you doing this?
What I see here is a text that doesn't belong to your type of character. You see, even if you put a jacket, it's not that. You need a high status. You need a little bit more of age. So it's written by someone that is older.
Written for someone.
Someone that is older, and you can feel it. You see. Let's see it.
Te di 2 días de plazo para atraparlo. Mientras tanto, sigue riéndose de nosotros. Y vete a saber lo que estará planeando.
¿Qué quieres decir?
Pues que necesito a un inspector más cualificado para llevar este asunto. Creo que esto te queda grande. Confié en ti, pero aún estás un poco verde.
Vale, está bien. Pero he
Confío.
descubierto que ese hombre tenía un amante.
Confía, no, confío en ti. Confío en ti, pero estás todavía un poco verde. Because if you say confía, then we don't understand.
So this is
what you're
between
saying.
two cops, right? So it's
Yeah,
basically
between
one
the
saying to
cops.
the other cop, I trust you, but I still think you're a little green. Okay, this is why Assumpta says that you need something which is more age appropriate.
Yes.
Because I got to believe that you're like a police officer with authority.
40 at least.
This is tough enough to do when you're already that age. It's really, really hard. It's not easy.
Not everyone can do policeman.
No. Let me move this. Look, this little guy over here. Right. Okay, let's keep going.
Y es eso lo que me trajo hasta aquí.
You see this hand, I don't believe it.
Right, well, let me give you another point
Creo
here.
que esto te queda grande. Confié en ti, pero aún estás un poco verde.
Vale, está
Right. Now, if we just take this, okay, you got the role, that's what you're playing. I trust you, but I think you're a little green. Okay? I need you to understand exactly what I just said. When you ask somebody if they want coffee, if they don't answer, you look at them going, and you want to know, are they ignoring you? Did they hear you? Are they thinking about it? Do I have to say it again? And this is the same thing here, is that when we launch something, we have to decide whether we're going to stay connected to the thing that we're asking, requiring of somebody else, or we're just going to say it and move on. That's the thing. Sometimes we have to work it out. Sometimes that's what the process is we say something and then we have to work out a relationship with the thing that we just said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to fire you. Yeah. Whatever it might be, is to shamelessly stay connected to the ideas that you're sending out into the world.
People are gonna watch you. People are gonna, don't rush. People want to see what there is in your head. Share your thoughts. Try to really open yourself up to everything that could happen in your head, in your feelings, you have to be like that because you have to be, a great communicator of your inside.
Listen, we could say this. We could say like a general shot, almost like the stage is movement. We say a medium shot is when we're really looking at a scene between two people on stage, or it's a medium shot on camera. That's what we're doing, is we're paying attention to the word. And then when we get into the close-up, really what we're interested in is what we're thinking. Mm-hmm. Okay, the smallest unit of information in the theater is the word. The smallest unit of information on camera is the thought.
We have
when
to
you're
see
when,
your
when
thoughts.
when you're looking at us right now, you're looking at Assumpta, you're looking at me, is that you're looking at her to see what she's thinking, to see whether she's thinking of something new.
Exactly. When I have an idea, he also notices, but you too,
The idea will rise.
Yeah. It's we prepare ourselves, and the other one recognizes it, and then perhaps don't allow us to talk, or it goes what do you want, or whatever. But it has to, that is what it happens in reality. We don't say things by saying them. We say things also in a context. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. No, we're attracted to the sound of ideas, almost more than words. When you see people doing that. Somebody else will be talking, and somebody else will go, and the other person will go, what?
I would say that we are more attracted to thoughts than to a car crash. You cannot really.
What do you mean?
That you're more
are you attracted to car crashes?
Well, when we are seeing an action movie, that you
Oh,
all these
God,
things,
yeah.
But a thought, the audience is really
Yeah.
there with you, is always there with you. So don't throw it away. Enjoy the what you are thinking to communicate. Of course, if you are not thinking anything, then there's nothing to communicate. That's why you have to fill up yourself with things to say, with exactly what it means, every single thing. Okay.
My brother says, I'm really into this, guys. Essential Thursday nights viewing.
Thank
all I can
you,
say
Ross.
all I can say is I don't know what's on TV in the UK anymore. Okay, let's moving on. Right, here we go.
Pero he descubierto que ese hombre tenía un amante. Y es eso lo que me trajo hasta aquí.
Ay.
Se esconde por esta zona y lo estamos cercando. Solo dame 24 horas y te demostraré que soy capaz de meter en la cárcel a ese narcotraficante.
24 horas, ya lo sabes.
There's a lot of more that you can do there,
Just a bit, Pedro, thing about this is that the reason that we speak is because we think of something. Sometimes we speak to achieve something. Sometimes we speak to relate to something, say it out loud for the first time, but there's always a thought behind when we speak. And sometimes, and very often, what we say is got nothing to do with what we're thinking about. It's like, when somebody says, that's a really great idea. But they're not saying it's a really great idea. They're saying that's a terrible idea.
Subtext, always subtext. When you say 24 hours, before you say 24 hours, before you do all this week, you see, and you have to have a high status for you to be able to be there. You cannot allow yourself to this because it doesn't go with your character. It's like you, the actor there, but not the character. In the sense that the character has to be filled up with the things that he wants to say. What he wants to do, menacing him. He doesn't believe him. He doesn't. What does he want? Yeah, that's what we have to always ask ourselves. What does this character want? He's believing it. He's not believing it. It's like, okay, I know what you're going to say, but okay. 24 hours. There's a lot of things to say between what he says and what you have to say. And you don't have to worry, You don't have to hurry. You have to really fill it up with things that they're interesting, that they're not seen in other TV police shows,
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Always inside.
¿Cuándo piensas irte?
When are you thinking of going?
¿Por qué te empeñas en que me vaya?
Para que no vayas a la cárcel, Paloma. Llegará un momento en que ni yo mismo podré evitarlo.
¿Desde cuándo te ha importado mi destino?
Mucho, Paloma. No quiero nada malo para ti, te lo juro. Porque yo... ¿Porque yo
qué, Bruno? ¿Qué?
Okay, Pedro, don't be afraid to let them watch us. You need to be able to share what you're thinking with the camera. The camera is your best friend. Okay, people say that all the time, but really the reason it's your best friend is because it's never going to judge you, and it's all it's interested in is what you're thinking and what you want. When you see actors who are very, very competent, their first relationship is with this. Then they'll speak to somebody else. But this is where they start. They start here. So their neutral position whenever they come back is with the camera, and then they can share what they want. But really, this is their first relationship. Okay? Now, we all have these great cameras in our pockets. We all have these incredible high-definition cameras, and we can play with this, and we can work with it, and we can check it out, and we need to learn how to watch it back and see what works and see what doesn't work. Okay? But this is the important thing. You have a demo tape, you have a video book, as we call it here, right? And you still got to work more. My advice is to look for something which is very, very close
to you,
and close to your story.
Yeah.
And if you have to write something, write something. If you want to write it, send it to me. I'll read it. We'll work it out together. But you need something which is closer to your story, closer to the thing that you're going to get cast as, which is a nice, sensitive guy making his way in the world. Okay? Smart, delicate, because you're not a bruiser. You're not a heavyweight boxer. You're somebody who's going to have to do it because you're smart and you're a good guy.
The problem of these two exercises, the one in the street and one is that you're not that guy, and we can feel it. We can feel it. And so, we see that as an exercise, as a school exercise, but we don't see that as someone that is giving you that job because they would never do that to you. You have to choose your profiles. What does it mean, profile? Means, what really is what you want to communicate. What are the roles that the people are giving to you? Well, if you don't know it, just start, like Scott says, with the most simple story. Yours.
Yeah.
Yours.
Write me a 300-word story of how you came to be here. Your family, your brothers, sisters, mother, father, I don't care. Do something which is close to you.
Okay, it says that, the second scene was written for me. I knew it wasn't really my type, says Pedro, but I wanted to challenge myself being a bad guy.
Yeah, it's all very well challenging yourself, but I sometimes think the reason that we challenge ourselves is because we're scared if we do the thing that's closest to ourselves and we don't succeed, well, then what? Sometimes people put the bar so high that they've got a good reason why it doesn't work or they don't get there. But what we really got to do is to learn how to do something which is very, very close to ourselves, or at least close to a version of ourselves.
Yes.
Look, I've always played bad guys, haven't I? And obviously it's because I'm pure evil. No, because...
You're not.
No, I'm not pure evil. I'm slightly evil.
Ross, is he evil?
Yeah, he's going to tell you I'm complete. My brother's going to tell you that I am the devil's spawn. But so one of those reasons that we want to challenge ourselves is because we want to have a reason why it didn't work. It's really close to ourselves. And then we can expand out there and then we can do stuff which is much more difficult. Okay?
Yes, we want to see the real you. The casting directors and everyone wants to see not you in a character that is challenging for you. They want to see you because there's going to be, things out there. And if there is none, but you inspire them, they're going to write it for you, I mean, that happens,
Right. Okay. Now we're going to move on to Olivia. Now Olivia is a young actress, and she is going, I believe, to an acting school. And here, I believe, Lydia Sorrell Fleet and Olivia. Now I would assume that Linda is probably her mother.
Oh, I see.
I'm not entirely sure.
Because Olivia is a girl.
Olivia's a young'un.
She's a young girl.
Right. So I'm very excited to watch this. I've watched it myself.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's see what happens here. I don't know the context of what this is for. Perhaps you can tell us, Linda and Olivia, tell us what this is for, where it's from, because I'd love to know. Okay, let's do it.
That's all you want, isn't it? That's what you do. That's why you always create drama in this family. For the attention of it all. You're never happy, are you? Unless the world is talking about you. You can't live without creating some kind of drama, and that makes you happy. And I'm getting sick of this because you are doing a number on us all. I don't know what you're going through, but it has to come to an end. Why are you so sick in the head? Why can't you just be normal and not be crazy all the time? there are other things you could do to get people thinking about you. Like, do some good things for once in a while. Then not only will you get everyone thinking about you in a positive way, you'll also feel good about yourself. Don't you want that? Don't you want to feel good about yourself?
Great.
No, that's it?
That's it. It's a
Okay, so
self-tape.
there's a self-tape. Okay. Okay, I would advise you the same thing that I advised to Pedro, is remember that you have also to sell the context that you're in. When I say sell the context, meaning, you also and the rest. There is not only one person. There is a lot of things that's happening there that can be, reasons why you are saying things differently.
Distractions,
Things that it happens, And if you are with this fixed, how you say, mirada, look.
this fixed stare. Look,
Fixed stare,
this is
exactly.
the thing. Okay, so I assume this is Olivia, not Linda. This was a monologue a drama teacher asked me to try. First off, very impressive.
It works.
Very competent. All right? I know that doesn't sound like much. I'm not going, oh my God, you're the greatest. No. Between you and me, competence is the reason why people work and why they keep working. Remember, 20% of the actors have 80% of the jobs. Okay? This is how it's going to work. And in fact, the proportion is much greater than that. If you're good and you're nice, this is really important. You got to be a fun person to work with, an easy person to work with. And then remember, the objective is not to win the game. The objective is to get invited back to play. Mm-hmm. Okay? We don't put the best people on our teams. Okay? Because the best people are occasionally a pain in the ass. Who we want on our teams is the ones that we want to play with. Because it's not about winning, it's about playing the game. Okay? So, one of the things that Assumpta's talking about, which is very important, which is this idea of this fixed stare. You're there for 1 minute until you look away. And the moment you look away, it comes alive. Okay? Don't be afraid to find the idea somewhere else.
Remember,
now look, it would be very peculiar. It'd be very peculiar if that when we were speaking here, we never looked anywhere else, and all we ever did was look directly into the camera, and we never changed our focus. And all we ever did was, it's really weird.
It's really weird for you,
and it's really hard to do.
Yes.
It's really, really hard to do. Unless someone's got a gun pointed at you or is threatening somebody, it's really hard to maintain.
We only do that when we have in the hard disk, or in the RAM, these words that make us be very concentrated, and then because we are concentrated looking for these words, we don't stare to anywhere else, you see. So the idea is to fake this idea of
the place where you are,
the place where you are,
coming up with the idea of it. That's the great bit at the end, which happens in about a minute. After a minute, is you go and find this idea of be nice, of do something good. That's wonderful because I see where this idea is coming from. It's come from somewhere else.
Yeah, but
great.
It's very hard to have ideas when you are staring to something all the time. You have ideas here and then you communicate them. You have the ideas here and you communicate them. You have ideas here. You uncertainty. That's a good one to make the things a little bit more believable and more truthful.
For example, if I asked you, Olivia, if I said, tell me about the last time you went to the movies, you would probably go, it was the beginning of 2020. You would immediately go somewhere else. It's where our memory lives. Our memory lives sort of up there somewhere. Mm-hmm. Or you might look down. But usually we look up, which is another great secret. One of the quickest way to learn your lines is to learn put the text that you're learning up high. It works, trust me. Put it up high because that's where you're going to go looking for it afterwards. Not here. Okay? So, this thing where we have to come up with the idea of what we're going to say, it's very hard to fake that idea that we're coming up with it when we're staring at one point. Let's go over it again. But never doubt yourself that you can do this. You're very, very competent. You really know what you're doing. And all I ever wanted you to do is get messy. Is mess it up. Okay? Imperfection, perfection is the enemy of action. And imperfection is really what we're all about. It's how to make this as imperfect and as dynamic as possible.
As life.
Yeah, let's watch
it. As life it is, no?
Yeah. Let's watch it.
That's all you want, isn't it? That's what you do. It's why you always create drama in this family.
Right. Straight off the bat. It's what you want, isn't it? It's what you do. Am I asking a question? Is it a rhetorical question?
You're waiting for his.
Do I
her
want an answer?
Yeah.
Do I look for the answer? Do I look for the reaction?
Why you're talking?
A lot of the
If
time
not.
when we speak, remember, we're trying to change the expression on the other person's face.
Mhm.
That's what we're trying to do. We're looking for something. And by changing the expression on their face, we're changing what they think. We're machines that are made to change the way other people think. What we do when we're acting, when it's very effective, what we're really doing is we are distorting somebody else's reality. Now, whenever you play it, this is part of something I call the prank principle. When you're playing a joke on someone, that is the best acting you'll ever do. When you're actually convinced somebody, you're convincing somebody else that something is true, which is not, in the real world, that's the best acting you could ever do. Now, if we use that approach when we're acting, we have to make the other person think that we're doing this for real. Forget about it. You'll kill everybody. You'll blow them all away. Because they'll be like, I mean, she's just so real. And that's all that everybody is looking for these days. Is that real? So let's go back a little bit.
So the question with this text at the beginning is, what do you want from her?
Yeah.
You want to be ashamed? Do you want her to think? Do you want her to recognize it?
You want her to feel bad?
You want to feel bad?
You want to feel bad because you're hurt?
With all, depending on what you choose, you'll have to say things differently, So the subtext is what it drives you, not the text. It's you and your thoughts who drives the actual communication, not the text.
Let's have a look. So.
That's what you do. It's why you always create drama in this family. For the attention of it all. You're never happy, are you? Unless the world is talking about you. You can't live without creating some kind of drama, and that makes you happy. And I'm getting sick of this because you are doing a number on us all. I don't know what you're going through, but it has to come to an end.
Okay. Right. From there, remember we're talking about on camera. I don't know what you're going through, but it has to come to an end. Right? It doesn't always have to be directed at the other person. Sometimes when we see things which are difficult to say, we can't bear to look at the other person. We can't bear to look at them.
Yes.
It's difficult. There's really good games to play. The next time you're watching two people in conversation, you can do it with yourself, but actually watch two people in conversation. Don't watch the person who's talking. Watch the person who's listening. Watch what's going on in their heads. Watch what they're thinking about, and watch when the person can look and when they can't look at the other person. When we say things which are tough, which are, nasty, or just are truthful, we don't look at the other person because we don't want what we think or feel about it to influence what they think or feel about it. We want the truth of what we're saying to hit them. Okay?
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that makes it gives that texture of realism to it. But it's great. I mean, look, I would ask for another take, and everything that we're talking about, you would slay it.
Why are you so sick in the head? Why can't you just be normal and not be crazy all the time? There are other things you could do to get people thinking about you.
You see, there are things
like
in that transition, there's the thought that must appear. We cannot have a thought, without doing this. You see, because I have to look for the thought to say. I cannot look for a thought looking to you. It's impossible. The thoughts don't come because I am registering so many things of you that I need to go away, collect my thought, and then say it. And that's human communication. It's not, it's not very weird. It's just what happens. You see, only actors don't do it. because they are
Only
blocked
actors when they're acting don't
when
do
they
it.
are acting, when they are not doing it, because in real life they are perfectly fine.
Right. If anybody's ever told you to keep staring at the person in the eyes that talking nonsense, if anybody's telling you to always look at the same point, in general, it's nonsense. Okay? Because the people don't do that. We don't have to, we don't have to go and look it up in a dictionary or an encyclopedia. That we know what we do, we know how we speak, and we know how we relate to each other.
When we speak, a lot of things they are happening. Things that they are, that they are kind of out of control, but the other person register it, and we know exactly what to give away and what we don't have to give away, So it's a very delicate, it's a very complex, state of mind, state of the feelings and what you want. Everything has to be in a whole, and for that, that means that when that happens is when, before the thoughts are coming to your memory, you have the thought to say it and the intention to say it.
What you'll never hear from us is us talking about emotions, because we don't think they're important at all. In actual fact, nobody cares. Nobody cares what you feel. They only care what you do. That's all that anybody's ever doing, is looking at what you're doing. Whether you're speaking to this person, speaking to yourself, speaking to the universe, it's the same thing. We're always asking, but what are they doing? It's like when somebody starts talking to you, how many times have we gone, yeah, but what do you want? Okay, we need to know what they want from us. And if we don't get what we want, we're bored, because we have no investment in what's going on. This is not boring, Olivia. This is nice. It's good.
Good things.
I like
for
that.
once in a
I love that when you look away.
Other things you could do to get people thinking about you. Like, do some good things for once in a while.
There you go. Went off, came back with the idea. Love it.
Then not only will you get everyone thinking about you in a positive way, you'll also feel good about yourself.
You see, the problem here is that you didn't choose what actually the other person was doing, or what were the reactions of this person. So
how hard you need to be with them, how firm you need to be with them.
Yes, how if you see that this person is not really appreciating what you're saying, then how you're going to do another strategy to actually get into their mind what you're saying. There's all these strategies we are doing all the time for the other to understand us, to convince them, to we do a lot of nuances, and so that is what we need to have. We need to understand that there is another person. Of course, we know there is a camera, but we want to have the illusion that you actually are talking to someone, and for that, you just have to imagine what the other person is doing. Perhaps it's not all the time in one fixed point. Sometimes this person moves, sometimes you are following her, sometimes there are things that you want to say to her, sometimes the voice rises because she is distracted, or she doesn't look at you. You see, there is a lot of things that they are happening at the same time that you're talking.
Right, let's keep going. Night, Rose. He has to get up at stupid o'clock. Okay, so let's keep going. Let me just come back here. I love that when you.
Not only will you get everyone thinking about you in a positive way, you'll also feel good about yourself. Don't you want that?
No. What Assumpta's talking about is tactics. You beat them to hell in the first part. You beat them to hell with your savagery, with your insight, with the precision of what you're saying. And then what you need to do at the end is you need to let them out. You need to bring them back up again. Mm-hmm. You need to fix the wounds that you've created. You need to stop the bleeding that you've caused. You need to fix them, because you need that more, because you hurt them. When we hurt somebody else, what we're really doing is we're hurting ourselves. Okay?
The first thing I would say to you, do you love her? Do you really love her? Because if you really love her, then this strategy is very nice, because you are mad at something, but then you just want them to understand because you love them. And then, the thing softens, because what you want is, you don't see, you silly person, I love you, And so all these things are what it makes, something interesting, is when you are really as an audience trying to understand what there is behind your words. Here we have words, but we need a little bit more of, what you want with these words.
Let's watch the last 4 seconds.
Don't you want to feel good about yourself?
Right. Olivia, thank you very much for sending us that. It's really, really nice. For me, I look at that and I go, another couple of takes and we're good to go. That's all. That's all. There's slight adjustments. You're on top of it. You know what you're saying. You've thought through it. You're obviously a very smart, very talented young woman. And it's just about that. Just don't be afraid to break your contact with the other person. Don't be afraid to be a little bit... Look, between you and me. Sorry, I'm going to have to lean in here. Oops. Oh, no.
What's happening?
I don't know what happened there. I hit something on the keyboard.
Okay.
I hit something terrible on the keyboard. What happened there? That's awful. All right. No. I have no idea what that is. Source. Camera. No, look, it went to the wrong camera. That's what it did. It went to the wrong camera. Okay. So, one of the things, you shouldn't be afraid to be a little bit egotistical, a little bit selfish in terms of the time that you're going to take to think about things. You're not being self-indulgent. What you're doing is you're taking advantage of that time to show us the thing that we're really interested in, which is not what you're saying. It's really what you're thinking and what you want. Okay? I like it with when we work with actors that they have a little bit of arrogance. That they go, the rest of my life is a disaster, but this is where I dance. This is what I do. Mm-hmm. Okay? So don't be afraid about that. And what you'll find is just that little moment you looked away, you become more interesting. Your presence grows. You become much more charismatic, and people are drawn to you because we're drawn to you as a person, not somebody who's trying to force the acting out in front of them like a shield, which you don't do. But I see that as don't be afraid to mess it up, be messy, and come up with the words that you're saying.
And have commitment with the things that you have chosen. Do you love her? Do you want to convince her? Do you want to blame her? Do you want to, what do you want? And remember, uncertainty is good. Is a good one to give truth to any text.
Right. Okay. Moving along. Right. Thank you, Olivia, and thank you, Linda, for sending me that. Very good. I look forward to seeing more things from you cats. Right. Now.
When I wake up.
Okay. Oops. Sorry. Wrong place. Right. So this is another tape. Thank you,
Linda.
And thank you, Olivia, which I think you're there as well. Hopefully that has been
She
useful.
says, awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you, Linda.
Okay.
Thank you to
Thanks, guys.
Thanks to you.
Okay, so...
Alba says, it is so great to hear all your comments and insights. You are both so generous with your time and feedback. Thank you.
Well...
That's what we do.
Well, one of the reasons that we do it is that when we were young actors, we would have loved somebody to take the time and tell us.
Yes.
It's really what it is. I guess parents get the chance to be the parent that they never had. Well, we get a chance to be the film acting teachers that we never had. Because we had to learn through mistakes. And there were many of them. Alba, so remind me if you can, write in there where you're from and what languages you speak. Because I think Alba speaks... I think she speaks Spanish. Or is it Italian? I think she might be in Italy. I can't remember. But anyway.
Let me see.
Right, let's watch her.
When I wake up, take a shower, I try to scrub myself. I try to scrub the memory away. I can't get clean. I have to live through each day with the feelings of being deprived and violated and unwanted. No, just no good. I didn't ask what happened to me. I don't deserve this misery. No one deserves this kind of pain. And I will have to live with the memory of what happened to me for the rest of my life. So don't try to pity me. And don't try to comfort me. Or don't pretend like you think you understand. Because you don't. You don't get it. Are you oblivious to the fact that he's still walking the streets. You don't know what it is like to live in my body day to day. But then everything happens for a reason, right? Everything happens for a reason. So what was the sense of my circumstance? What was life supposed to teach me? What was my life supposed to teach me? Because so far what I've learned is that no one can be trusted.
You go, girl.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Loving it. Loving your work. Loving your work. Look, Alba. Look. So this is the other thing. I knew there was a reason I liked you.
I speak Spanish and English. I grew up in Murcia and lived there for 10 years, and I'm half Scottish and half Spanish. Oh, hey!
There you go.
You're
there you
like,
go, sweetheart.
You're like our daughter.
Estás hablando mi idioma.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. There you go. You're the daughter we never had. No,
Yeah.
it's fabulous, and you have such a beautiful open look. Oh God, it's really really nice. Because Alba popped up on one of the, I think, Actors UK or UK Actors or one of these pages where people put their photos up, and everybody's like, ooh, yeah, everybody starts giving their opinion, but they really, some people do, but most people don't know what the hell they're talking about. Buenas noches, Josefina. But one of the things is that I've been starting to put the things up there saying we're going to look at it, we're going to analyze stuff, because I'm genuinely interested in seeing what people are out there. People seem to be more interested in getting Instagram followers and having people tell them how great their headshots are, rather than actually either getting the truth or sharing something which they genuinely think is, has some meat to it. Okay? Alba put something that she did up there. I looked her up. I ended up on her Vimeo page, and I ended up watching all her material there. Okay? She got scenes and a demo tape, and she got all sorts of stuff there. Your headshots are not great. I got to tell you that. They could be so much better. You're a very particular person, and you need something which really can capture that. Okay? Yeah, you know what you're doing. Don't let anybody ever tell you don't know what you're doing. You know what you're doing very, very well. Okay? Just keep doing it. And it's great that you speak Spanish as well. Hopefully you haven't lost it. We're going to run through it again, and I got very little to say, because when acting is effective, when it works, basically what happens is that you're doing something which a writer can't write or a director can't direct. You're bringing something, the imperfection of the moment, and you're letting it be recorded.
For me, if I would say something, I have to say something. I would say, what do you want? I'm not clear on what you want for me, for the spectator, for the one that you are speaking to. I don't understand sometimes what because it's a ranting of things, and what's happening with the other person who is a listener. He or she is going to say something. No, she's going to let you. What's happening is that real? I see. Is a scene for the actress. I see as a scene for. But in real life, what would happen in real life? What would be the other one doing? That listening to you without saying anything, without moving, without.
Well, given this is a self-tape, it's pretty.
No.
It's
of
pretty
course.
effective.
No, but
given the fact that there's no other context.
The consideration always of the other one. The one that you are speaking to. What do you want from the other person? Because there is a sense of urgency, there is a sense of need that we need to actually convey, because, nobody would listen to these rantings unless, I don't know, unless it's your best friend, even that, So we have to really, make it more truthful in the sense of who you are speaking to. Let's see it again.
Yeah.
When I wake up, take a shower, I try to scrub myself. I try to scrub the memory away. I can't get clean. I have to live through each day with the feelings of being deprived and violated and unwanted. No, it's just no good. I didn't ask what happened to me.
Right. First thing is, this is a really tough text.
Yeah. No,
This
no.
is a really, really tough text that's non-Euclidean. It's not connected particularly well, and it's in the danger of falling into poetry, which is really tricky. And you did tactically a very clever thing, which is you messed it up.
Mm-hmm.
You messed it up by trying to find the right words to say it, and it's very effective like that.
I don't deserve this misery. No one deserves this kind of pain. And I will have to live with the memory of what happened to me for the rest of my life.
Well, I think there was a mistake, right? But it's okay. You
Excellent
saved it
recovery.
well.
No, excellent recovery.
Yeah.
No, that you're very clear on what you're saying. I mean, this is great.
Your intuition is good. Your intuitions are good, and you can see that.
Yeah, it's that you're not going to fall down the hole.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So don't try to pity me. And don't try to comfort me. Or don't pretend like you think you understand. Because you don't. You don't get it. Are you oblivious to the fact that he's still walking the streets? You don't know what it is like to live.
Right. Okay, I'm going to tell you this, mi querida Alba. Right. You had to learn, if this is a self-tape, you probably had to do it very, very quickly. And you had a little Hollywood huff as a recovery there, because the logical thing would be for you to continue the through line. And I'll show you where that is. And by the way, this is
Minutiae.
this is minimal.
Mm-hmm.
But this is, if we're doing another take, I would say just keep going there. Okay? Because you're already done. And there's a reason that we don't go there, because if we go there, what we're going to do is we're going to start losing control. Pieces are going to start flying off the fuselage as the plane takes off. Okay? And that's what happens is we forget our lines. If I didn't know better, it looked like you were either checking out your lines at some point earlier on there, or you were looking at something. But we perceive those things, but it doesn't matter. You know? It's still very effective. I'll show you where that happens. Let me go back.
You don't know what it is. Or don't pretend like you think you understand. Because you don't. You don't get it. Are you oblivious to the fact that he's still walking the streets?
There's your little huff.
Yeah. When we just breathe out, then we'll lose it.
Because I want to go, are you oblivious that he's still walking the streets? Now I want to see what's happening afterwards.
You don't know what it is like.
So, you're oblivious he's still walking the streets? You don't know what it's like. That's what I needed to do. I needed to keep going there. But it's okay. You sell it perfectly well.
Yes.
You pull it out. Nobody's going to notice that apart from us. And we've seen a lot of actors, so we can sniff it out.
In my body, day to day. But then everything happens for a reason, right?
Lovely.
Yes, that's very nice.
Lovely, because you are, I'm going to tell you why, for the people watching, is because she's quoting what other people have said to her, and she's half believing it, half mocking it. It's a very difficult thing to write down or direct, but you just do it.
Yes.
Because everything happens for a reason, right? You know?
Yes.
Very, very nicely done. It's the sort of thing that if Spanish was your first language and you didn't speak English the way you do, it'd be very hard to transmit that thing. It's a very English language thing to do. Very nice. Let's do that. Let's watch that again.
In my body, day to day. But then everything happens for a reason, right? Everything happens for a reason. So what was the sense of my circumstance? What was life supposed to teach me? What was my life supposed to teach me? Because so far what I've learned is that no one can be trusted.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Great, Alba. Loving your work. Very nice.
Okay, it's 9:22. We're going to leave you.
Right, I got one more very short.
No, we're going to see it next week.
Oh, okay. Right, so just to let you know, for the people who are going to be next week, sorry I didn't get to it. That's Paulina. She sent me one that was very late in the day, but it arrived late in the day. And Julian. But we'll get to that next week. The other thing that we'd like you to do is, depending on where you are, remember if you're on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Assumpta Serna, like the page and follow it. And Alba, I'm sure you've seen us before speaking in Spanish. Don't be afraid to join in. Remember, we've got La Familia de Cine, which you can join through patreon.com/Assumpta Serna. That's all there, all that good stuff. Have a look, Alba. There's a fantastic community there. I would offer that to everybody who speaks Spanish out there, who speaks English, but unfortunately we spend most of our time speaking Spanish. Really, one of our objectives here is to attempt to create some form of transparent and open community. And it's what we've done over the last year in confinement, in quarantine.
In Family of Cinema.
And so we have the Familia de Cine, which is, as you've probably seen, was part of my email address. Oh, okay. Well, Paulina, you have a virtual engagement next week. Lucky chap. Paulina, what I have to tell you is, even if you're not there, we will do it anyway, or unless you want to wait, and you'll be able to watch at a different point. Because whenever we go over people's material, we always treat the material whether like the person's there, okay? Because we know that very often people will go back and they'll watch it a different day. I've had people months later saying, did you ever do it? And I go, yes, this is where we did it. This is the video, and I'll send them the link to the exact minute.
So everything is going to also be archived in our channel in YouTube, youtube.com/Escuela Assumpta Serna, right?
Yep, everything's there, and also you can go back and look at the other stuff. So the other thing that we're going to be trying to do is we're going to start bringing actors, casting directors, and other people from hopefully the English language world. We've been doing it for almost a year now in the Spanish language world, to talk about their points of view when it comes to acting, representation, material, and all the rest of it. Okay, so Alba says she'll be doing a Spanish self-tape soon, so I'll get some feedback. Well, absolutamente. Acha. We have a few people from Murcia in
La Familia de Cine.
La Familia de Cine.
And all of you that want to come on Saturday, the 1st of April, on Tuesday, the first Tuesday of April, we are going to be inviting also everyone to see these 115 people that we are together looking for, helping each other with everything that we can. And between us, we've done 7 shorts that we've been, in a lot of places, film festivals, and now we have the first movie coming up for 15 of us that we're going to be there on the casting, thanks to Pablo Moreno, very nice director that we know for a long time. So we're trying to to help each other in this.
Our silly little Familia de Cine film family has actually managed to get people work.
Yes, which is we are very proud.
A lot of people are going to be working for the first time on a professional, working professionally on a movie in the movie industry, because of really what we've managed to pull off in the past year. And there's absolutely nothing that makes us more happy than being able to help people get a job. That's really what it comes down to.
And remember, it's easier when you are in a group than when you are alone. Okay?
Alba says, I'm really a Murcian. Scottish at heart. Acho. Acha, nene, tiene una bolsa de pibe. Right, so great. So Alba, send us an email, okay? And I'd love to see you there next in 2 weeks on Tuesday, and come by and say hi to everybody. There's no obligations on anything at all. The most important thing that we always want to do is to create contacts and create community.
A lot of people also present projects to us, theater projects, whatever, and we're trying to advise them how to make it possible.
Right. Linda says, thoroughly enjoyed watching you. Good night.
Thank you, Linda.
I don't know if that's Linda or if it's Olivia, but thank you very much. It's great work. Thank you for everybody. And
until
next. Remember, we're going to be here next Thursday at the same bat time, same bat channel. Tomorrow, what do we have on the show tomorrow?
Well, I don't know. We can see.
Do you want to have a quick look?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's going to be in Spanish.
It's
but
going to
for
be in
all of them
Spanish,
that,
but you never know.
yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we got. What could possibly go wrong?
Tomorrow is Friday, Friday the 19th, and we have a woman director called Analia.
Oh,
So,
well,
it's called, Requena, exactly, Requena. So,
okay, so Argentinian director.
yeah.
So that'd be interesting. So anyway, as we always end these things, so, pues, how do we say it in English?
Tomorrow, next Thursday,
So, you know,
better.
no. I know what it's going to be. I'm going to say it. Let me say it.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to see everybody here tomorrow in Spanish, and next Thursday for everybody in English, upwards and onwards. Don't you people have homes to go to? Honestly, just to remind you to on YouTube, follow it. Thank you very much, Pedro Johnson. Said great episode as usual. Thank you for your material and stay in touch. We love to hear what people are doing. Sometimes people go off, they re-edit their demo reel, they send it back to us, we review it again. It's a really great opportunity to. Sometimes we feel we really need to kick everybody in the ass just to kind of move them along a bit because it's not that hard. It's easier now than ever before, but it's also more competitive than ever before. The other thing I wanted to say is, I don't know, anybody out there with an iPhone, if you need to get onto Clubhouse, which is a very, very useful thing right now, I think, for actors and people in general, send me an email and I'll send you an invite, okay? That's another thing which is really important. If you want to do that, but you need an iPhone, unfortunately.
And remember that through patreon.com /Assumpta Serna, there we have all the plans that we do. You know, we do acting.
It's all in Spanish, though.
It's all in Spanish, it's true.
Nobody can read it all. But anyway, the other thing that we do is we do coaching for self-tapes and preparation.
Let's do patreon.com /Scott Cleverdon.
Jesus
in
Christ,
English.
No, you just want to make my life really, really complicated. Anyway, we're going to come up with that. Remember, you can help us out, but we're always going to be here anyway. We're at this was episode number 220 of our live streams. We're going to keep going and doing this. The reason we do it so late is so we can also include people who are in the United States. There's a change of hour there. It's actually 3 o'clock in New York and 12 o'clock in New York.
It's better, no?
Right now. Okay, so it's really great. What we want to do is to keep expanding and keep the community growing, and keep honest and keep and so hopefully we can keep learning about all this stuff, because things are moving on one side very, very slowly. And on the other side, when it comes to production, it's moving very, very quickly. Everything is self-tapes, everything is Zoom meetings, everything has changed.
And remember that there is no such thing as luck.
Luck is when opportunity meets readiness. And on that note...
Let's be ready.
Yep. And just between us and you, remember, you're all geniuses. You've just got to realize it.